Hello guys, RPM Designs here. I thought it was necessary to make a video on that I switched to Intel. And I didn't switch back. This is my first Intel system. And yeah, I couldn't be more happy, to be honest. And what I mean by that is that I firstly had this board. This X670 ORS Elite AX revision 1.0 I paired it with my Ryzen 7 7700X CPU. And yeah, the CPU is fine, everything is fine, but it just, AMD is just not there. And what I mean by that is that at first this board is I don't know, I didn't like it a lot. Like, they don't put much effort into it, and that's the reason why I switched to Intel, because this board had a lot of issues, and then it couldn't, even at AMD Expo 6000 it was running fine, but still it had some, I don't know, weird issues and glitches. And what I mean by that is when I played Call of Duty or Destiny or Warframe, or I was just browsing, sometimes my mouse was erratic, like slower, instability issues, boot issues, as in like when I wake up, I fire up the PC, all of a sudden it doesn't want to boot anymore, that kind of crap, everything, and that was at stock even. Well, it's not stuck, but it's an Expo and 6000 Expo. That should just work, and you have to start somewhere, and the beginning is like they sell these RAM sticks at JDEC spec, like 4800 or 5200 megahertz. That's bullshit. Nobody is gonna run it at that. You just load the Expo and it just should work. If it doesn't work, it's crap. That's it. I have no other comment on it. If it doesn't work, even at 6000, that's just no. That's just bullshit. You know, that's just I don't how you call that. I mean, if you look at if you ask like engineers or people that are really like yeah, they just say I run it at stock JDEC spec, like. And yeah, if it works like that, that's the way to go. But it should not be like that. Why do they sell speeds 4800 megahertz? Why does somebody want or need in a consumer desktop? It's not even for enterprise or like for a business purpose or like a server. Why would you run it at JDEC spec? That makes no sense. Nobody's gonna do that. Nobody. And if you do that, then I don't know what to tell you, man. It's just stupid. You just fall for the marketing and everything. I just don't like that. It should not be like this. It should just work. Not on everything, but at least at 6000. And for a lot of people, it didn't even work. And I don't know why or what, but yeah, for a lot of people, it didn't work. Later, AMD stepped up with later Agisa, and it was better. So I bought new RAM, 6400 megahertz, G-Skill, FlareX, blah blah, whole mouthful, and it only had an XMP profile. And XMP is exactly the same as AMD Expo, only for less money. So, what the fuck? It's exactly the same. I tested this, I loaded the profile, XMP, and I had Expo, and I was looking on internet, and I was looking everywhere. It's exactly the same kit. Only AMD Expo, they cost more, because they do more binning, maybe. That's the only reason I can think of. But the timings are almost identical. Maybe some little things I cannot see or look over, but I side by side looked at it and it's exactly the same. But for more money. The same kit, which is weird. Then I come up with these motherboards, and it's like they're almost as expensive as Intel, and some are even more expensive. Like this board, and it has less features. This board was like, it has a good chipset, like the X670. There's nothing wrong with the chipset, but the layout and everything is just plain awful in my opinion. And here's why. The this is, yeah, I mean, some can debate that this looks clean, but ah, I mean that's looks, aesthetics. It doesn't really. But anyway, it doesn't have a postcode, which is a bit weird for a board that costs $300. I should expect a postcode at least, but it doesn't. Okay, I can live with that. It has like little LEDs there, and most of the time these postcodes, sometimes you have postcodes, nobody even know what it is. So let me put it like that, because I had it on an Asus board, X370 and X470, all crosshair heroes. And sometimes I had like postcodes and I could not find anything what it does. So it will only get you so far. If it doesn't want to boot, then it doesn't boot. It's handy. I would rather have one, because sometimes when your RAM memory overclocking or CPU overclocking or whatever, it can tell you which stage it at in the booting process. But yeah, other than that, it's no big deal. It looks nicer, but that's about it. It's very handy when you're overclocking. Other than that, it's yeah. But anyway, yeah, underneath is the BIOS battery. It's here. So if you have like a BIOS issue and you have to pull the battery, yeah, you have to completely like disable this. Disable. You feel disabled. Like, let me put it like that, because you have to completely remove the motherboard in order to get the screws at the backside of the board, unscrew it, and then you can remove the battery. And why would you do that? It's a simple reason, is because these BIOSes are very buggy. These AMD BIOSes are very buggy. And I don't know if it's Agisa, I don't know if it's Gigabyte, if it's the motherboard vendors like Asus or whatever. Well, Asus is always buggy. I never buy Asus again. But yeah, they just don't put any effort in it. It's a mess, the BIOS, how it looks and everything. Gigabyte is actually one of the best I saw. It's just a mess. The settings are everywhere, and there's a sub menu with this, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. There are settings that don't do anything, and if you look on the internet, people don't even know what these settings do. So why are they there? It's the same with things as the PBO. PBO is buggy as hell. It doesn't work properly. It let the CPU boost to 5.75 gigahertz when doing absolutely nothing. Why? Why? What the fuck? It makes absolutely no sense. And it makes everything more unstable. It made my whole system unstable, and it just doesn't work. XMP or Expo and PBO, it doesn't work together. It's fucked up. It's just not good. But anyway, going back to this one, then you have to. I learned this on my Asus board, and it worked for me ever since. If you have like a BIOS issue, you simply like. I have a video on it on my YouTube channel, I believe. But if you, the good thing is, if your BIOS doesn't boot, issues, whatever, you're fed up with it, turn off your CPU, your PC. Just turn it off. Don't flick the switch from the PSU. Keep it in an on mode, one mode. Pull the power cord and hold the power button, so the capacitors and everything, the whole board is empty of power. Then try to connect the power cord again, and then do the BIOS battery in it again, and everything should be right as rain. If it doesn't work like that, then there's a BIOS issue. That's the only thing. You can have do multiple things, as in like what I also did is like in BIOS, don't like push the reset button, but load up the system defaults, and then try to reboot, and then like all the way to Windows, so everything got straight and everything is fine and dandy, and then shut it down, and then reflash the BIOS. That can also help. But in my experience with this board, the LAN didn't work, so I didn't have any internet. Wi-Fi works, but yeah, who needs Wi-Fi on a board? It's nice, but yeah, when the LAN port doesn't work anymore, it's broken, you at least have Wi-Fi. But no, I just wanted to use LAN, of course. So yeah, I had to flash. I had to do this procedure in order to make it work again. So there's that. That's the other thing. The other thing is that these things are not toolless. There are screws, and it's like it's a small thing, but yeah, I prefer toolless because yeah, there should be a tool here and there. You flip it up, and then you can take it out again. Take it out. They could as easily for this money. They could do this on this board, but they didn't, which is weird to me. But anyway, there's more. There are only 4 SATA connectors, which is yeah not a lot. So yeah, that's a bit weird. For me, it's enough, but for some people, I can imagine you need 6. You want 6. So why is it not there? This USB 3.0 connector is, for me, it worked well, but maybe for some didn't. My current motherboard has it upright, and yeah, I don't know. It's a weird connector anyway, but yeah, I prefer this one, so that's nice. The other thing I don't really like is the audio. The audio on this is horrible. It just no. It works, and that's about it. There are almost no settings and everything. It just sounds awful. Excuse me. It just sounds awful in my opinion. Yeah, but I don't like it. It's crap. It really is. Unparalleled performance. Sure thing, buddy. Connectivity was quite nice. Oh, it also did the. Why do I get it? It also doesn't have an optical, and mostly I use optical for my Astro A50s. Yeah, because the sound is different, and I'm still experimenting with it. But I think optical just loads up a profile in my Astro that sounds a bit more. I don't know, a bit more. It sounds better. Let me put it like that. This is also a little bit of a downer because it's HDMI, and most boards have display and HDMI for the integrated graphics. So yeah, and it also doesn't have a reset button on the back side. It has like the D flash. Yeah, so that's weird. Maybe that's a reset button, but I don't think so. Just weird. I don't get this board is just rushed. It's cheap. But it works, if it works. Yeah, other than that, not really much to say actually. Yeah, it works fine, but I'm not a fan of this at all. And yeah, it has an 8-layer PCB, so it should perform much better than it did. So I was very disappointed by it, and I tried many BIOSes, Agisa versions. No, it was stable for 1 or 2 days, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue screens, weird issues, Windows corruptions, you name it, all kinds of weird memory-related stuff. And it was only I booted at 6400, by the way, at 1-to-1 ratio, and it was very fast. There's no issue there. There's no issue about performance on these chips because they're really good. The hardware is decent on AMD, like their chips, their CPUs, whatever, but the software is just horrible. It's like they don't put any effort into it. They don't want AMD to win. That's how it feels to me. While the CPUs and everything, it's not cheap. AMD is not the cheapo anymore. So yeah. Also, what I really don't like about AMD CPUs is this design. Why don't you focus? Stupid camera. No, it wants to focus. This design, it's just horrible. It's made by someone. This is just stupid, you know. And it has to do with the socket, probably. It has to do with the height, but this is all pure copper. Why is it so thick? Like what the fuck? You know, and if you have like thermal paste here, it will go all the way there. So you have to buy a thermal guard as well. That's another 10 euros for this, and I bought the whole set from Thermal Grizzly. This is just stupid. Why is that? Maybe it's fine if stuff comes there, but also creeps there, and it's gonna be a mess. You have to clean it, and no, this is stupid. I don't like this design at all. No, I just don't like it. It's a very thick. I don't know how thick it is, but it's very thick, and it makes it harder to cool the CPU. I mean, the CPU does it goes to 100 degrees anyway, and they say it's perfectly fine, it's fine, and blah blah blah. No, it's not fine. I don't believe that for a second that it's fine to run a CPU at 100 degrees for extended periods of time. And then you have people that say it's fine because they do it on laptops as well, notebooks, whatever you want to call it. And that's it. This is true. They all getting very hot, but how long do they last? Motherboards don't, in general, don't last very long. And what I saw is that like I had two notebooks and they died within 3 years. And I think the CPU was dead, but yeah, how are you gonna tell? I mean, this is, I don't have the software for it. It was out of warranty, so it just died. And I think it was the CPU because it was getting very, very hot all the time. So yeah, I don't believe that. It's good, but yeah, I have no counter proof of that. But I don't think if you think logically that the traces, like you know, the CPU, the traces that run, there's a die and there's a die. The traces here, they're gonna get burnt out because of the heat. So you need more voltage for the same clocks. I mean, it makes sense. Heat expands, and then if it cools down, it contracts again, and then no, it's not. It's just not good. I don't believe that for a second. Even though AMD said, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, okay, well, whatever, man. I don't believe that. Just logical thinking. Yeah. So this was my AMD board. Yeah, and in the BIOS, it was a bit of a mess, to be honest. Settings are, yeah, doing, but sometimes it doesn't like recognize the settings, or the training, memory training takes forever and ever. Sometimes it took like 4 minutes, man. That's the longest time I ever had. Hmm. Because even if I changed like a small thing, the memory training took, I don't know, I did not count the minutes or whatever, but just it takes long, a long time, a very long time, which is stupid. That's an indication that AMD is still not there. And every time with a new thing, it's the same shit with AMD. You're a beta tester. Every time again, almost all biases were beta on this board, and now all of a sudden they turned to stable, and there's one beta bias, but still, this is no, everything is beta on this platform. And with the next gen, they keep selling, and yeah, it's just this is also the reason why they spent more money in the AM4 platform, because AM4 was surprisingly working well. Also issues, but less issues as on this. And I had an AM4 with a 5600X and DDR4 3200 CL14, I believe. Yes, also with RGB, and I had 4 sticks, and I was running that at 3600 megahertz, which yeah was very nice. And then I tried 3800, and it worked, but it was not. Yeah, in the beginning it was not really fully stable, but later with 2 sticks it was. With 4 sticks it's a bit harder, so I toned it down to 3600, and it was running very, very well, very stable, and very with 4 sticks on the AM4 platform. It's working more. It's working better for AMD for some reason. Very weird how that works, but yeah, it shows that AMD is a bit of a weird platform. Okay, this was AMD, and yeah, the issues were like RAM related issues, but also EC sensor. This is the EC sensor. No, I cannot make it bigger. And AMD cannot work with this fucking sensor, and that means I did not have a lot of issues with this board, to be perfectly honest. But still, there were some issues, and I suspect this little motherfucker, because on the Intel on the Asus ROG motherboards, I had a lot of problems with it. It even shows up in hardware info that if you monitor from that thing, the system can be erratic and performance loss and blah blah blah. And I did not have this on my Intel board, which is surprisingly weird. But anyway, these are the issues. Sometimes it doesn't boot, and yeah, all kinds of weird issues. And when it ran fine, and it was fast. I did not have any complaints about the fastness, but just no, it was not like. And they say, yeah, Intel memory controllers are worse and blah blah blah, yappity yap. No, that's just plain false. AMD boards can run up to 8,000 megahertz, I heard. But okay, that's nice, I guess. I don't know. There's nothing to gain there actually. You don't get any more performance on AMD. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really scale well. But on Intel, it does. Because I could not run higher than 6400 megahertz on my AMD. It couldn't even run 6400 megahertz stable, let alone even faster. And I tried all settings, more voltage. I tried a lot of shit. Doesn't work. That's it. Intel board, I just loaded up a profile, 7200 megahertz, easy, no issue at all. It just booted straight up, and it didn't take it longer than 5-6 minutes. It didn't take it 5-6 minutes to XMP train either. It just booted up, and that's it. It took them like, I don't know, maybe a minute, and I needed to rethink. You go, okay, can I do this? Yeah, okay. You want me to do? Okay, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, and that was Windows. That's it. And AMD is like, oh, this, no, I had enough. Enough is enough. I was with AMD since the beginning. 1600X CPU was my first one, and it was a clusterfuck ever since. And yeah, everybody can agree with me that that's true. It's better on AM5, but now they have, like, PBO doesn't work properly. You have less settings in BIOS. The most layouts of most boards are not as good as on Intel. Well, they are the same cost, or sometimes they're even more expensive, which is ridiculous to me. Memory is more expensive for AMD if you have the Expo, which makes no sense. The CPUs are also more expensive on AMD than on Intel. So I don't see any reason to go to AMD really. I mean, I'm not a fanboy of anything. I just go where the performance is, and yeah, AMD performs very well. The 7950X is a beast of a CPU. It better be at that price. That thing is like more expensive than Intel. This thing is like almost $700 it was here. Like, who's gonna buy a €700 CPU from AMD that still has to prove themselves? Certainly not me. But anyway, yeah, it was a huge disappointment for me. Okay, this was this board. Oh, and this is my Intel board. Now, right off the bat, how can I? No, it's already zoomed out. Right off the bat, this board looks already way better in my opinion. The layout is better. Almost everything is better. Let me explain. This logo, this thing, how this looks is just better, in my opinion. But anyway, this is what I don't like. This marketing, team up, fight on, team up, fight. That's a bit stupid. I mean, why? I mean, I no, stop that stupid marketing stuff. Sorry, I drink a lot of coffee. But anyway, let's go down. It has 6 SATA ports. It has a BIOS battery I can actually reach. So if there is a BIOS issue, I can pull the battery and I can completely reset it. So yeah, there are already 2 things that are better. This is also a nice little feature. I mean, it's not important, but this is cool. This is just a small thing that makes me think, okay, they think about small things. They really put a little bit effort into it. You know what I mean? Personally, I like these fan headers all the way there. This is cool. I don't know. It's just a nice place for me. I really like this. It's not like all over the place, all these fan headers. No, it's just here and there. That's perfect. There's no need for any fan header there or fan header. No, just here and there. It's perfect for me. Sometimes they have it here or there somewhere, but there's no room for it. Also, but they could also have like here fan header or there, whatever. They can do whatever they want basically. But yeah, this is a nice feature. The other feature is this. This is what I'm talking about. This is the quick disconnect, I call it. Like tool free. You just flip switch up, and underneath there's the same switch, and you can just take the SSD out. That's perfect. This is how it should be. This is not more expensive than any. I mean, come on. You can do this. This is just bullshit. This is just good. This was not on AMD. So that's already a plus. The other plus is the audio. The audio sounds excellent. This is a lot better than the other motherboard. A lot better. It's not even close. And I like some good sounds. And yeah, that's just what I like. It's just, I like, I mean, motherboard audio is like, it's still no, like an external audio device, but still it can sound very good, and this one does sound very good. It really does. So yeah, this looks way better. Yeah, I like this board. It's good. It's very good. A very thick, beefy heatsink, which I don't really think I need, but yeah, also 8-layer PCB, 2 times copper. Well, that's also good for the connection. Blah blah blah. Yeah, 16 plus 1 plus 2, bigger VRM also. Up to 65% loss of reduction. Ooh. Yeah, this bias is very nice though. It was also on the AMD, the how it looks. This is nice. What else? I mean, yeah, this marketing is just bullshit. They need to stop doing this bullshit. And then there's a QVL list and say, oh, look, you can get 8266 megahertz MT a second, mega transfers a second, whatever, megahertz, mega transfers, blah, blah. So people go there, you go there, oh, let me find some, I have this one, QVL. Why doesn't it go to the QVL? Where's the QVL actually? Support list, there it is. SSD, there's some memory, there it is. So here you have it. This memory is native 5600 megahertz, mega transfers, whatever. And someone buys this RAM and thinks, oh, I can run 8266. And then they do that, and it doesn't even boot. Or it does boot, and yeah, it's erratic. So they need to stop doing this. Not a lot of Intel CPUs can reach this. Some people say none can do that, but I don't believe that because the world record is on an Intel CPU. So yeah. Yeah, this is also what I tried. That's what I'm running now, 7200. This is the profile, which AMD also should have again, because it's not that difficult and their controllers are better than Intel's. They say, well, I don't know. Maybe if that was true, then they would also have like pre-built things, but they don't. They only have one profile, and that's Expo or XMP, and that's it. You can go from there. Yeah, that was it. Isolated memory routing. Whole yappity yap. Yeah, it's not important. Blah blah. These are the boards. Now we're going to show you the prices. this is what I paid for my motherboard back in the day. $299. The AMD board, that is. This is the whole set. This is what it costs now. And this is the Intel board. So the Intel board only costs 19 euros more. Has better features. As everything is just better. Okay? For 20 euros more. 19 euros to be precise. 19 euros more, you have a better board. Okay? So let that sink in. That's just stupid, in my opinion. That's just lack of effort. They don't care about it. They just, maybe Intel is paying Gigabyte extra for it. I don't know, man. It's just stupid thinking, but I don't see any other reason. So yeah, this is feature-wise, and this is the price. And of course, it's AMD, Intel, you know. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, this is what I bought. 14700K, and with this board, see, that's the proof I got it. So yeah, but wait, there's more. I'm gonna load into the BIOS and show you some settings that AMD doesn't have and Intel does. And let me be clear, I'm not bashing on Intel or bashing on AMD. I'm just wanting to do better. I just want them to put more effort into it and just do better, because it's embarrassing in my opinion. Oh, and it's always luck of the draw, which it does, which screen it takes. Okay, well, this is the BIOS, obviously. Let me just adjust. Oh, no, that's the wrong. Yeah, okay. So here we are. This is Intel. And right off the bat, you have Gigabyte performance drive. That's one thing. And oh, here, the mouse doesn't stutter in this BIOS. See that? Perfect. Well, it's a bit like, it's not like very, very fast, but it works. Way better. It's a small thing, but if somebody wants to go there, then you can actually use it instead of the jitter, erratic behavior on the other AX board. But anyway, this you have several like profiles. Each setting does a different thing. I have the optimized because for me, I still have to understand how Intel works. I don't know how it works yet, so I just keep it at this for now, and then do some reading, and then maybe do something. But yeah, it boosts to the maximum speed, 5.6 gigahertz. You can see that right here. So I don't see any reason, and the camera doesn't focus. Again, there it is. Okay, that's that. Enhanced, yeah, that's normally. Then you have the auto booster, high bandwidth, low latency, and then you have this, the XMP booster. You have all kinds of profiles. You see that? So many profiles. Why only on Intel? Why not on AMD? I think there's not enough R&D, research and development on AMD, which is a shame. I mean, you can load up all kinds of settings here, and yeah, it's a bit of a disappointment, to be honest. But yeah, this just works. I loaded up this profile. I have Hynix. You can see that right here, which is very nice. Very nice, but yeah, I just load it up. I go like, okay, I have Hynix, so I load the highest profile. Maybe it can do 7600. We have not tried it, and for now I'm happy at 7200. So there's that. That's like, and you have there XMP, or here I cannot go there. It's grayed out, but y'all can read, I hope. And there's the XMP. I can load also XMP if I disable this. but it's running fine like this. So higher is better, and yeah, I think 7200 at reasonable timings is the sweet spot anyway. So, but yeah, there's that. What's more? Yeah, look at it. You have so many settings. Like, look. I mean, I know Intel is a different platform, but come on, man. See, it's all here what you need, and it's not on a different thing. It's just here. Okay. So yeah, and then you can go here, and you have a lot of other voltages, which I don't really know what to do with, so I don't tinker with it yet. Yeah, so that's it. Okay, let me go here. And you have another whole heap of settings. Here, all kinds of protections, all kinds of stuff. Look at it. So many settings. So many settings. Some are useful, some are not useful, but yeah. I think with this can you also, oh, you can also enable it on AMD. You cannot even enable it, but anyway, it's default setting only. Yeah, here is like a lot of settings. A lot of settings. It's just baffling. Oh, here's the system memory multiplier. This is like the DDR spec, like the JEDEC spec, I believe. But anyway, there's more. Memory settings. This is where it becomes weird. I have SPD, but here I can make my own profile, I believe, but I'm not sure. I'm not gonna tinker with it just now. But yeah, that's kind of cool actually. I can just make my own thing here and do all kinds of calculations, blah blah blah, and just fill it in. Neat. Okay, here are the timings. Also a lot of timings, as you can see. But they're also on a different place as on AMD. On AMD, I had like all these settings were like crisscross from each other, but here it's different. But anyway, here are all the settings. I should change this one as well, the TRFI, whatever, and set it higher, but I'm not sure yet. I have to, I don't know how high it should be. So, there's a lot. It can go here, it can go very high. 262,143. What the fuck? Yeah, that's a bit high. But anyway, yeah, a lot of settings. Again, see? Like hundreds of settings in this BIOS, and I'm not sure you need every single one of them, but I'm sure you can get almost anything stable here, and you know, it's cool. I like it. But anyway, I/O ports. Yeah, there's nothing really. Ah, that's disabled. Nice. There was something with mouse. Michelangelo's. Where was it? Trusted. No. Health. No, not health state. No, I don't want to quit. Where was it? No, that's not okay. Maybe was it in power? Where was it? I think it was in I/O ports. It should be here, I think. Nope. I don't know what that is. What? VMD, I don't know what that is, so I don't touch it. Where? I swear I saw something about mouse. Acoustic noise setting? What the fuck? Here, even these are ridiculous, but that shows that they put effort into it. You know, it's a small thing, but yeah, it's cool. Where's the mouse? Where the fuck is my mouse setting? I had a mouse setting. Maybe it's here. No. Oh fuck, man. Now I have to look. Maybe if I can find it here. Mouse. Driver option priorities. What? Where the fuck is that setting? I swear there was a mouse setting. Oh my god. It's not power, is it? What the fuck? This is very strange. This is what you get when you have a lot of settings. You cannot find it anymore. Yeah, it should be here, man. Oh, what the fuck? No, it's not. No. No, it's not there either. Why can I not find it? What the fuck? I swear, is it in easy mode then? No. Well, that's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. Oh, wait, fucking hell, I was not looking here. Mouse speed, that's it. Here's the mouse speed, see? I can put it to 3, it's faster, 4, it's even more faster, to 1, slower, faster. 2 is perfect. I have a little jitter, but it's usable. On AMD it wasn't usable, so this is like a little feature that they could easily implement on AMD, but they simply don't care, they don't want to. And that's the big issue I have with AMD. Other than that, it's pretty much like not much difference, but still. Yeah. Oh, here is also CPU upgrade. You have like also these little things. They really they can work, man. You know, it's like they just you can like it's no PBO, and PBO doesn't work anyway. So and this just works. It works. That's it. And you don't have to tinker. You don't have to fuck around with all these AMD settings, which, yeah, after a reboot don't work anymore, and you have to redo almost everything. That's my experience. What I have. So it's annoying. I don't want that. I really don't want that. There's one thing which I would like to have on these boards is that you don't have to install this erratic motherboard software crap, and you can do that from BIOS. You can set up the lighting from BIOS, the RGB settings in BIOS. I think that's much better because most of the softwares are not working properly, as in like yeah, the Gigabyte Control Center GCC is working fine, but every now and then it has yeah, little issues. But Asus Armory Crate is the worst in the history of worst softwares. It's the worst, and they still haven't fixed it because they don't care. They don't want to. They just want your money, and that's it. Just fuck the customer. We don't care about you. And yeah, we're gonna make a BIOS that blows up CPUs and make a huge stupid thing about it. It's all over the net. Asus, no. Don't buy Asus. If you like your money and you have a passion for PCs, don't get Asus ROG because they're assholes. I can't even call them aces, and instead I'm calling them asses, because that's what they are. They are a bunch of asses. Okay, so that's about it. About aces, I'm on Gigabyte now, so I couldn't be more happy. Way better. But anyway, yeah, these are settings I like. It's like not I like, but you know, this, these profiles, you just set them and it just works. And I like tinker with stuff, but if nothing works, it's more annoying than I feel like insanity, like doing the same thing over and I expect a different result. So I go like, okay, I feel like tuning memory again. So I go in the BIOS on the AMD. So I go in the BIOS, I change a few things, and it booted. I go like, yes, I achieved something. Then I run a few benchmarks. Yeah, very low latency. Yeah, amazing and nice, very nice. Then after a couple of games, it just in game it went slower. As in, it went so slow that I could hardly move. I go like, why is it so laggy all of a sudden? FPS was still fine, but yeah, I go like, what? It feels like the network is lagging or something. Packet burst, whatever, but it wasn't packet burst. So, going, what the fuck? And okay, I closed. It was Call of Duty, by the way, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I closed the game, and also in Windows, the mouse felt laggy. Everything just loaded up very slowly, and it slowly locked up. Very slowly, it completely locked up everything. You know, what the fuck is this? And it was stable before. I was running benchmarks, everything, not a single issue. And all of a sudden, I got this. And what the fuck? And I couldn't figure it out. So, a little bit more voltage. Well, that didn't fix it. It only, extends the time when it happened. So I went back to 6000. And yeah, same problem. Okay, I reflashed the BIOS, same problem. I reflashed another BIOS, same problem. Then all of a sudden I went to F11C, which is a beta BIOS, and that was surprisingly stable, stable-ish, still not 100%, but stable-ish. That was the best BIOS so far. But that's a beta BIOS. I go, what the fuck? How can a beta BIOS be more stable than on the same settings? Because I saved the settings on an USB stick. So yeah, it's exactly the same settings. That's how you test BIOSes. So I loaded up the same settings, and yeah, another BIOS it didn't work. It booted, but it was not stable, and this BIOS was. And but yeah, it also had issues like when I tried to reboot from a cold boot. I just booted up from when I woke up. Grab some coffee, or I just I go to PC, turn it on, then grab some coffee, and then go to work, whatever I want to do with it. But all of a sudden, it just doesn't want to boot all of a sudden. And stupid stuff like that. And if it happened once, and if it's my fault, then yeah, it's fine. I don't care. But I didn't see any reason why that should happen. Because my logical thinking is that you should use PBO and XMP or Expo to, yeah, why not? It's there. Why is it there if it's not working, and why is it erratic? And I couldn't find anything about PBO either. So, yeah, this is very weird. But Billzoid, which is one of the very good people that know a lot about this stuff, said, yeah, it's PBO that's like asking on problems. Well, I didn't know that. And why is it there? Well, if it's not even working, then it's bullshit. It's just a bad product. End of story. Because Intel just works here. This is also some kind of PBO, and I can do whatever here. There's some kind of stuff I can do there too, I'm sure, and that just works. I mean, I have not a single issue with this one. It doesn't run hot. It doesn't boost to ridiculous speeds when I don't need it. When I do nothing, the CPU just goes down instead of up. And with AMD, it's the other way around. That's the PBO erraticness. They just don't know how it works or whatever. They just don't have any R&D in that. They don't care. They just put it there for selling, and people just buy it and they go, oh, AMD is great. No, AMD is not great. The great thing is that they put more effort into AM4, and I don't know if that's a good thing, because they really need that time. People think it's a good thing, and in a way, it's good that they put more time into the AM4 platform, AMD. But the thing is that if you do that, that's a sign that your current platform is not stable, is not good enough anymore. And a lot of people, they went back or went Intel because of these issues. Jay's 2 cents. A couple of friends of mine went back or went to Intel just like me. I never had Intel. This is the first time, and I went from hell to heaven, in my opinion. Not a single issue. And another friend from the US also has no problems with it. Also fed up with AMD, their bullshit, and also works perfectly fine. So if it was me, I would also have problems with Intel, wouldn't it? So let that sink in. And it's not blaming anyone. It's not saying AMD is absolute crap, but they should know better, and they should, and they must and should do better, because this is bullshit. It's just not working properly. The boosting is not working properly. The system memory is erratic as fuck. Yeah, you can. Some people can do 8,000 megahertz. Well, fuck all that. Who needs 8,000 megahertz on memory? It's diminishing return. It's nice for benchmarking, but AMD CPUs are not good for benching anyway. Intel will beat the shit out of them. My 14700K will beat the shit out of my 7700 and anything else. And the 14900K even harder. Doesn't make any sense. And and to blame Intel that they use a lot of power, blah blah. AMD does the same thing. It looks better on paper. But I had AMD, and I have my 14700K is using less power than my AMD CPU, because it doesn't boost to the other thing to higher speeds when doing nothing. It goes down instead of up, and that's what AMD is doing. When you use AMD, it goes down. It goes like, oh no, I can do this, fuck it. And it doesn't matter what setting I use. You have to manually overclock, but if you even try manual overclock AMD, then everything goes to hell. It just doesn't work properly. And yeah, the hardware is nice, the architecture of Ryzen is good, but there are too many issues. The PBO sucks, just doesn't work. If you want more performance, you better do it manually, and I could not even get 5.6 gigahertz stable. That's 5600 megahertz though, but it's stupid. It's just not cool. I mean, with Intel, I have some headroom. I don't know how much headroom, but I don't really need it. It boosts to 5.6 gigahertz. I mean, why do I need more? It's nice to have 6 gigahertz or something, but I bet it will also run very, very hot. And I don't like to run the system very, very hot. That's not needed. Everything gets hot as well. It's not only the CPU, but it's also everything around it. Everything gets hot. But it's just, it's not necessary. But I will tinker with it, and I will go and look what I can do with Intel, and just look up the red line, so to speak, like where can I get it and how does everything work, because this simply works instead of you know who. Anyway, this is how my new system looks. Ooh, that's very fast. I have this is the Arctic cooler. What is it? It's an Arctic liquid freezer, I believe. Yeah, liquid freezer. 240, and it's neat. It's a neat cooler. It's very, very strong. It's very, very good performing cooler. It has a thick radiator. It barely fits in my case, and yeah, why I was on a budget. Otherwise, it would have like a 360. But now I see I can't even fit a 360, because the reason why I have it there is when I mount it there, it will collide with the VRM heatsinks. As you can see, there's not enough clearance, so that's a bit of a pity. So in order to run this thing, I have to disassemble the fans, put the radiator on top, because I have like a whole space on top here, and then mount but I don't want that. That's no. So yeah, this 240 cooler is a good cooler. It keeps it nice and cool, and haven't had any issues with it. So yeah, that's very nice, very nice. So let's go back to here. I have another cooler as well. My custom loop. It's here. This is my 360. I still have to clean it, but this is my 360 with my Aqua Computer OT tube, and yeah, with this CPU block. It's an EK block, which is nice block. But I have to clean it and dismantle it. Maybe I'm gonna sell it. Maybe I'm gonna buy an Intel block for it. I'm not sure, because that will cost a lot of money, and I'm not that rich actually. And yeah, maybe I don't know if I can. Yeah, I would like to have it, but then I have the Arctic in order, before if something goes wrong with the other cooler or from maintenance, I can just I can mount the Arctic cooler and maintain the custom loop, which I'm gonna do in one of these days. I'm gonna clean it and everything. So yeah, but anyway, back on topic. Yeah, this is Intel. The other one was AMD. This is better. I don't care what anyone else says. This is just better. And you can say, oh yeah, the issue is always in the seat. Yeah, well, okay. That might be, but if you don't know what to change and nobody knows, and after internet searches and everything, and contacting Gigabyte and contacting AMD, they also have no answer, and the same problems persist throughout the system, throughout the whole Ryzen. Yeah, you start to think that Ryzen is an erratic architecture, but I don't know. I'm not an engineer, but if the same problems persist, it's a bit weird. There's like a pattern, and the pattern is like, yeah, is that the erraticness? So yeah, there you have it. Almost an hour on rambling about Intel and AMD, but yeah, here's why I switched. It's just more stable, and yeah, that's it. And TDP is, yeah, it's just for people that don't know anything about stuff, and they go by from, you know, they go by from YouTuber. They say, oh, Intel is so worse, and yeah, from 13 Gen to 14, there's almost no difference. But it's not a different. It's just an uplift. It's not supposed to be. It's every year. It's almost the same percentage higher. This is 12% more performance than the 13700K. But from the 12700K to the 14700K, that's a lot more. That's better. That's a good upgrade. You can still sell the other one and then get this one. I mean, I don't see a problem in it. And yeah, they last for two CPUs each platform. That's all Intel needs, and I think that's fine. On AMD, they extend the period of support because they need it, because it doesn't run in the beginning, and you better buy it at the end of their, not EOL, but like end of life, but like, not just don't early adopt it. Let me put it like that, because it doesn't work. You end up wanting, beta bias after the other, and testing and testing and testing, and nothing really is 100% stable. And if you want more performance, just don't. Yeah, if you those who dare on Aces also, they also have this slogan, those who dare. And Aces RSG, it's even more erratic. But yeah, they just blow up CPUs like the X3D CPUs with ridiculously high voltage, and when you flash the BIOS, it will void your warranty and all stupid stuff like that. It's just, yeah, people in the US should make a class action lawsuit against our Asus ROG and refund every Asus ROG motherboard, in my opinion. I fucking hate these guys. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. That's the reason why I switched to. Oh wait, I have another feature, by the way, before I forget, which is nice. Why I bought this cooler, let me zoom in, is because of that little fan. As some people, maybe you think, in the beginning I thought, to be honest, this is a stupid gimmick, it doesn't work. But testing, Tech Jesus, also known as, Gamers Nexus, also known as Tech Jesus, aka Tech Jesus, did tests, and it really works for a VRM. I personally cannot feel that much airflow, to be honest, but yeah, it works because it's not running high speed. But yeah, it works. So that's kind of neat. It's a little fan. I can't even hear it, so it's fine. Um, Switch back. So yeah, that's my thing about AMD and Intel, and why I think it's better to go with Intel than AMD for this time. And that doesn't mean that I just want AMD to do better. So there's more competition. It's just more healthy to have competition, because as of now, yeah, AMD can perform better, and in some things AMD is better. But overall, if there's no stability, what's the point? What's the point in running 8,000 megahertz? Well, there's absolutely no difference from 7200. It doesn't gain you any FPS. It's just not worth it. For me, it's just, no, 7200 is, I think it's a sweet spot. But I'm gonna try 7600 later, and I'm gonna try something else. But yeah, just for the fun. But 7200, I think it's the best. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. This was my little thing about Intel and AMD, and why I switched. And yeah, I think um, yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I said everything I wanted to say about AMD and Intel, and I'm just gonna enjoy my Intel system. And yeah, we'll go from there and see how everything turns out. And but as of now, it's just working really straight out of the box. It already works better. So yeah, I'm even more excited to tinker with it, because yeah, maybe I can squeeze a little bit more, a little less power, so it boosts also higher, because I think it works the same on Intel as on AMD. So yeah, well, that was it, guys. And yeah, if you like what you see and what you hear, and if you agree or disagree, you can leave a comment in the comment below. If you like, you can like, favorite, and subscribe. And I try to make more videos on stuff. I like to explain things, and if you like it, then yeah, you can subscribe. And yeah, thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.